Good morning, happy Friday, and it's a new year. Can you believe it?
Oh, is this our first podcast of the year?
This is the first podcast of 2021.
Oh my.
I know, right?
Didn't quite realize that. Well, here we are. It's just bizarre. There's chaos. There's a great market. There's lots of optimism. There's good things. There's COVID. It's, oh my God, it's a crazy world.
It's absolute craziness. And, reflecting back to when COVID actually first hit, I remember everybody talking about it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and this will all be past us, maybe a month, 2 months on the, if it really gets crazy. And here
I said
we are.
3.
Yeah. And here we are, 2021. I'm not sure it's going to be done by the end of 2021 at this point. So,
yeah, we looked at a son of a friend of ours, and he was a senior last year. We're like, oh, this is terrible. We did everything we could to, go to the graduation and try to make it special for him. Like, oh, these poor guys. Well, at least it won't happen to our kids.
It might.
My daughter Riley's a senior right now, and they're just getting obliterated. It's really, really a sad situation for them.
Yeah, but
didn't see that coming.
We did not, but we will adapt. Yeah. And good morning to Fran. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning, Michelle. People are starting to join us. So thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate that. And I'm fired up about this year. We got a birthday coming up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I made the front page of the Party Times. So at this point, I'm just grateful that they keep coming. So it's funny. The picture that you guys used, I'm all like, don't quite look like that anymore. But but let's get into it. So this is a pretty interesting topic that we picked today. And, one of the reasons that I looked at this topic is, inventory is at a complete shortage right now with regard to the number of homes that are available. I do see it picking up just a little bit, that the new year has come, but there are almost no homes for sale out there. And listings, we've always said it, listings to last. And that's really how you want to build your business, to long-term longevity in this industry. And here we are where it's like major gold. So we want to talk about that today, talk a little bit about, some strategies, some tips, some techniques and things like that. We've got some specific examples of, exactly plug in and do, and we'll talk a little bit about what we think. But before we get started, I want to talk about our favorite mask. So I did not announce the winner from last episode of the year, our face mask from Children's Miracle Network, where the proceeds are actually going back to Chalk. And our last winner, I didn't announce it. Congratulations, Miss Fran. And I know that you're online here, so congratulations. Find me after the meeting, and I will let you pick. So I still have 2 more to give away. So we're going to do another giveaway today. The goal, or let's do this. So you got to put in the chat mask, and if you would share this someplace as well. So share this podcast to your, to your Facebook page, or, to another group or something of that nature. That is how you will enter for today's drawing. And then at the end of this podcast, we'll see who the winner is for today. So mask in the chat. Just type in the word mask and share this, and give us a like too. I like the little likes. So are we ready?
Let's do this.
Wait. Okay. So our topic, 8 things to generate motivated seller leads. Let's get started. Number 1, Travis, give me number 1.
I'm not going to give you number 1. Here's what I'm going to tell you. In the world today, in this world that we're living in, I think as I look through these and have been thinking about this, is really a lot of this comes down to action, conversations,
Yes.
movement, contact, right? Sales is a contact sport. So that's what we've been missing a lot of lately. And I think that we just need to start off this whole presentation. Our mindset is how do we get that? How do we engage people? And we'd love to be in front of them as much as possible. So that's got to be the number one thing in our mind is how do I accomplish that under the current constraints? But outside of that also is how do I get people to react? So if I am doing social media or snail mail or email, I want to inform. We talk about content, putting information out there, right? Jab, jab, jab. When we do those jabs, we're giving away information that's valuable to people so that they go, wow, this person knows things. Oh, and they're giving me this information. Of course, we're fearful of it because we're like, oh my God, I'm giving away the secret recipe. Well, the reality is no. When they're ready to act, they'll give you a call, and that's going to be your punch. And so we need to figure out how do we get people to take that action. So anyways, just wanted to set the stage a little bit there. Does that sound about right? Is that what we're looking to do here?
I love it. So 2 points that I'm going to highlight. Travis brought up a little Gary V in there. Jab, 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 right hook. Always loved Gary V and his and what he's done for the social media world and online world. But yeah, it's interesting. Everything, when I look back at everything that we're going to really talk about today, it really is about connections. Whether or not you're connecting in, the world of online, social media, text messages, emails, phone calls, whatever the case may be, it all starts with that connection in the mailbox, whatever it is. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. So very excited.
Absolutely. Well, I like number one, call your past clients and Sphere to share some good news. People can use good news today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, first of all, when we talk about this, it's make the phone call. And I don't want to call my center of influence. I don't want to call my Sphere. I don't want to call my past clients because what am I going to say? So we agree when you do make that phone call, you should have something to say. And in this current environment, we can still just say, hey, just checking in to see how you're doing and hope all is well. But we're really trying to step things up here, and we're talking about getting listings and how to find motivated sellers. So, one of the ideas that I had was, hey, call up everybody and share the good news. Our market values are crazy good right now. The market, they've been up, interest rates are down. We can have a conversation. Hey, Travis, I was just giving you a call. 2020 was one of the most remarkable years that we've seen in the real estate industry, which I'm sure you're well aware. Interest rates were at an all-time low. Sales basically at an all-time high. We're still seeing a continuing rise in prices. Year over year, our numbers went up by whatever percentage in your particular area. And, we can talk about having the stats for Irvine or having the stats for their particular area and micro, bringing it down to a micro. But, just bringing that news, that's good news. For every homeowner that's out there, that's all good news.
Yep. Hey, Nestor, it was great catching up with you last month. Love chatting with you. The reason I'm calling today is because, there's so much going on in the world. I'm steeped in real estate and the financial markets. And even to me, things are a bit of a surprise. And so I'm reaching out to some of my best clients and just want to make sure they understand some of the positive things going on out there. And one of those is interest rates are at unbelievably low lows. And I don't know if you've taken advantage of this or not. Have you done that, Nestor? Oh, yeah. Let me tell you a little bit. This is a great time to plan. I know there's a lot of turmoil, jobs are this and that, but this is a great opportunity to do some great planning. You can refinance. Some people are cutting their mortgage from a 30 to a 20. Some people are just getting their payment down to give them security in these times when they don't know about the security of their job. Anyways, I was reaching out to see if this is something you might want to look into.
Absolutely. You add to that, ask the question, Travis, we've seen a lot of growth over the last 12 months. Have you taken a look to see that, your current value, to see how much equity you've actually gained over the last 12 months? No, well, I haven't. Let me take a look and let me send you over some information and see. And always a great opportunity to add those famous words of by the way. But yeah, so number one, reach out to your center of influence, reach out to your sphere, reach out to everybody, make those phone calls. If you don't want to make the phone calls, we're going to have some other conversations here about some other ways that we can engage with people. But don't be afraid of video, email as well. We really didn't touch on the 8 points that we brought up today. We really didn't touch on video emails, but that exact same message would work in a video email and a bomb video out to your center of influence or your sphere. And just throwing it out there to catch up, just throwing it out there to your reminders of, hey, it's the beginning of the year, starting to get ready for tax seasons. Is there anything that you need help with, or whatever the case may be? So I love it.
Very good.
Number 2, what would you like number 2 to be?
DM friends on Facebook.
I like that one. So DMing friends on Facebook. This works on Instagram. This will work on LinkedIn. This will work on Twitter. But the reason that I picked Facebook will make sense when I explain this. This is a specific action. So Travis, here's what I want you to do. When you wake up in the morning, I want you to spend 10 to 15 minutes on Facebook. And when you go onto Facebook, I want you to click specifically on that little messenger button on the right top hand corner. And when you do, it'll pop open. And all your friends that are on there will show up on there. And everybody who is currently online at that particular moment will have a little green dot right next to them. And those are the ones that I want you to pay attention to. It's a real simple thing. You go online, you click that messenger, you find 5 people that have the little green dot that's turned on, and you send them a DM. Now you know that they're online, so you'll know that they'll see the DM right away. And you are looking to create conversations. And my DM example that I gave was, if I see Travis is online, I send him a DM and I just simply say, hey, Travis, you know what? I'm working on building my pipeline for 2021. Happy New Year to you. Would it be ridiculous for me to ask you, if you came across anybody that you knew of that was going to buy or sell a house in 2021 and you thought they were a good fit for me, would you consider me as a referral? Okay. So my question is, if I take 10 to 15 minutes every single day, go online, find 5 or 6 people that their little green lights on, and send out that exact message, do you think I'm going to get some engagement?
So the answer to that is yes, you are going to get some engagement. But what we need to keep in mind is you'll also wonder why you're not getting engagement from certain people. And we need to be mindful of that and remember, we don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Correct.
So don't be afraid of the no answer. You get ghosted by someone. Don't take it personally. It's okay. You're going to want to hit them again and again down the line, as you're doing these things. And, it ebbs and woes. Some people will be engaging, some people won't. So I would just make that point is, if people aren't getting back to you, that's not a negative. The positive is the action you're taking, because ultimately the more action, energy you're putting out there is going to be returned to you. We just never know how and when.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. I would challenge anybody to do this, and I've done it, so I know the numbers on the responses. Every 5 that you send out, you're going to get about 3 responses back. It's like 3 point and some change. So really what I want you to look at is that if you're sending out 5 to 6 of these a day, you're creating. Now, does that mean that they're going to respond back? Oh yeah, John Doe is thinking of selling a house. Here's a lead. No, but you've planted the seed and you've put it in their mind and you've opened up the opportunity to have a conversation. You don't sit there once they respond back and start to hound them on who do you know, things like that. That's an opportunity to engage with them and have further conversation about how's life going and this and that. But if you do that and you hit 5 to 6 a day, you do the math real simple. If you're doing that 5 days a week, that's 25 to 30 times a week that you're doing that. You're creating an extra 18 to 20 conversations a week. You do that for 52 weeks out of the year, you will get business from it.
Yeah, you're going to be like, whoa, I think I need to tap the brakes a little bit here. The family might be like, where you been? What's
exactly.
You're neglecting us.
Facebook binging, but yeah. So and this idea works same on text message. I can send that exact same text message to you. And
I guess that's what you decide, or if you know how people respond best. I got an interesting Facebook post from Durissi. Did you get that post from her? It said something to the effect of, I'm a text messenger. I'm not going to answer your DM and I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm just going to watch it ring. And I thought, okay, there you go. You might want to make a note. If Durissi's on your hit list, text Durissi, right?
Right.
So you get to know your people. And actually goes into a little bit of a point I was going to make, which is good for many of the things we're going to talk about, which is this is a great time to be making these notes in your CRM or wherever you're taking notes. Hey, I DM'd these people, just quick note in there, DM'd. And then if they respond and how they responded, hey, Nestor got back to me and we got into a little bit of a conversation about his dog because we had talked about it last time.
Right.
These things are so important to have these records, because then you can go back and you can say, wow, God, I DM'd and texted someone 4 times. I haven't heard from them. Maybe that's opportunity just to pick up the phone and say, hey, how have you been? God, it's been a while. So there's a great amount of value in knowing what you've done and what the reactions have been.
Or pick a different platform.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I know for a fact that there are people that I have DM'd on Facebook and they are slow to respond, and I go to Instagram and DM them and they're back to me in seconds. Mm-hmm. Because that's their preference and that's their platform. So just because you're not getting a response back, that doesn't mean that they're not interested. That just may not be their as you mentioned earlier, that may not be their place where they respond back. So don't be afraid to go to one of the other platforms and do it again.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited about 2021. All right. How else are we going to get listings in 2021?
What's that?
How else are we going to get listings in 2021?
I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to put the ball in your court.
Okay.
But one thing I wanted to, when you brought this topic up and we started looking at it, one of the things I wanted to remind people about are FSBOs, right? I mean, these are people that want to sell. And even in a market like this, where it's hot and it seems like things are flying off the shelves, a lot of FSBOs still end up working with realtors. They need help. And so I'm not saying go out there and make a phone canvassing campaign out of it. If you want to, I would encourage you to do that. I think it's a great idea. But one of the things we need to do is, if we're geographical farmers or if we're just out and about a lot, these are things we should be looking for. Like in your farm, boy, you should be in there a lot. I used to drive my farm every day. And if you see a for sale by owner sign, man, who better to approach them than you? You already got a name brand awareness with them. They already know you're with a reputable company. So if there's any reason why they're not going to sell it themselves or they need help, you're the obvious choice for that. Absolutely. So at a minimum, we should be looking for these opportunities and taking advantage of them. Because if we're seeing them and ignoring them, oh Lord, if we're just not really being cognizant of them and passing them by, I mean, these are great opportunities to real hot seller leads.
Absolutely. And you look at that as, Zillow isn't really been our friend, but Zillow's got a perfect platform out there that they've teed up who's interested in selling, but it's not really selling with Make Me an Offer.
Is that still going? It's funny you say that. I was going to mention forsalebyowner.com or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just look for homes for sale by owner. Correct. Look at the websites and go in there and start looking and see if there's any in your area or where you can go to. I didn't know if they had turned that feature off or not. So
I
still a
believe
good
it's, I
place?
believe it's still on. I believe it is still on. So, but that's a great opportunity to just go in there, and it's all it is somebody's putting their property in there with a ridiculous offer or a ridiculous sales price of, hey, if I got this, I would move. Well, you know, we know most of those are ridiculous, but that person is giving you at least a small indication that they're considering moving. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So what's next? Am I picking the next one?
Yep.
Okay. So this one I'm and you talked about it a little bit earlier today with the Gary V jab 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 and not being afraid to give information away. And I called it giving away your secret sauce, having a home seller guide that is out there where you could do a lot of different things with your home seller guide. That can be on your website with a click to download, and a simple PDF can be made that's downloadable. You can have a hard copy that can be mailed. You can create an Instagram post or a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post that says get your free 15 things that you should know about before you sell your house. Click here to download. And you send that to a lead capture, something simple as just an email. You can go as extensive as email, phone numbers, and names, but you are exchanging information. You are giving something of value to somebody. In exchange, you're asking for their information. Now, here is where I suggest everybody differentiate themselves. So seller guides and buyer guides have been around forever. So for those that are out there saying, those don't work, I can almost guarantee you here's one that you haven't seen. How to sell your home in a COVID environment. Seller's guide. How to virtually sell your home. The virtual sell your home guidelines and 15 things that you should know about selling your home during COVID.
How to safely sell your home during COVID.
Exactly. We're not seeing those. People aren't putting those things out, and we forget because we're in the industry. Oh yeah, we know that we have a solution for making sure that that people can still sell and buy during this time. But there are people out there that are asking that question. Well, what are we doing during this time, and how is it being done, and is it safe? And I'm waiting because of this. And you would be surprised how many people would be interested in that type of document because they are thinking of selling, but they don't want to sell right now because of COVID, and you just got a hand raised. So that is a think outside the box formula that's out there as far as providing information for somebody. In exchange, you want information back. Another one right now, Coming Soon. Yes, we all have access to Coming Soon because it's in the MLS, but the consumer isn't aware. At least the majority of the consumers aren't aware yet that all the Coming Soons are basically the same. A campaign, an email campaign that goes out, a Facebook campaign that goes out, an Instagram campaign that goes out. 19 new homes in Irvine coming soon, coming on the market in the next 21 days. Would you like to know about this before everybody else? Click here. Send them to a forced registration, enter your name and number, and I'll give you the list of 19 homes coming up. Okay? Now, some of you are saying right now, well, wait a minute, Nestor, this is supposed to be about how do I get listings, which leads me to our next one is about, I don't know if people are aware of this, but about the number's like 42, 43% right now of buyers out there actually have a house to sell. And we forget about that this is an opportunity for sellers. By finding more buyers, that you're actually increasing your opportunities for sellers, because gosh, it's almost 50%. It's a hair below 50% of the people out there that are thinking of buying something actually need to sell something.
Nice.
Do you know most people don't ask that question?
Yeah. I mean, in all sorts of scenarios, it's like, hi, Travis, we need to buy our house or we need to sell our house. And voonk, we just like tunnel vision it right into the opportunity. We forget, well, do you have anything to sell in order to purchase? Or any of those related opportunities that are there. Oh, you're selling. Where are you moving to? Have you started looking? Can I help find someone who can help you with that? Asking those periphery questions. Is that where you were going? You got a little confused look on your face.
Exactly. No, no, that is where I'm going. Our link got with the confused face that you're seeing is our link got I don't want to say hacked, but our link is out there. I keep getting chimes for the waiting room.
Oh, okay.
Of people wanting so they want to come straight to the source. So
and I want to jump back for a second to the virtual home seller thing. I think that is analogous, that the seller sitting at home under the current circumstances is a little analogous to what they're doing in their head, what I think would be good for us to understand when we need to cold call or we want to go door knocking, or there's some calls or contacts we need to make, but we're concerned. Like I get a lot of resistance to, hey, contact your seller after, or your buyer after the closing. Say, hey, how are things going? Did you get X? Or, it's the follow-up. It's the money call. But we get all these ideas in our head, right? We get confused in our head. Oh my God, but there was that situation in the transaction where this happened. And oh my God, I don't want to know what they're going to tell me. I'm going to knock on that door. I don't know what's behind it.
Yep.
I want to cold call about this new listing I have, but they're going to tell me to get off the phone. I think that's where sellers are right now. They're like, God, I think this might be a good time for me to sell. It's kind of been in my mind, but there's so much going on. They have fear, and we need to unlock that. We need to get to them and say, no, you don't need to be fearful. I mean, not only can it be done right now, but it's an amazing opportunity. Absolutely. So I think that these prospects are sitting there waiting for us to come in and give them the information. And I think the seller, the virtual home seller program booklet opportunity is something that's going to unlock a lot of these opportunities. Sorry, I went this far around to get to my point.
That is a perfect example. And it's about thinking outside of the box and creating that can be done. I mentioned it before, that can be done as a Facebook post, that can be done as an Instagram post, but that can also be a piece that goes in the mail. And it's about making a change to things that we're already accustomed to. Like I mentioned before, we have the seller's guide. Everybody, has access to one, and there's a dozen of them out there, but nobody's really taken that next step to address what's currently going on. I'll give you another example. There's another one out there that scares a lot of people right now. And, the iBuyer program. The iBuyer program is out there, and we're aware of it. Redfin's got one, Zillow's got one. There's Open Door. And there's a couple of other companies that are out there that are doing this right now. The goal is to create a lead or a motivated seller. So why, if you're going to send out a postcard, have some facts about the iBuyer program and what's out there. And hey, learn about Nestor's iBuyers program, and it's in 2 simple steps or 3 simple steps. Provide me with your address. I will give you a market analysis of what's going on. And whatever that says, my point is that you don't necessarily have to have an iBuyer program like everybody else does. Your goal is to actually get somebody to raise their hand. So work with some of these other things that are out there to create some unique marketing things. Visit with the marketing department and try to come up with some unique, the CTAs, your call to actions that are above and beyond our generals. Here's what I want everybody to look at over the next 30 days when you get mail in your mailbox from an agent. How many times do you hear the word honest and integrity? So that's what 90% of the postcards are. I'm John Doe with such and such, and honesty, integrity, and maybe communications is a third one. When we're all doing the same thing, we're all part of the same noise. when we start to make shifts and think outside the box, that's when we get the attention of people and get them to actually move forward and take a step and raise their hand, which is what we're looking to do. So, does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. What's our next one? What do we want to do?
Let's see here. Okay. Well, for those of you that were on the presentation yesterday, Proposition 19, I want to throw that out there as an opportunity to bring some information to people that they either don't know or don't understand very well. So Proposition 19 has replaced 60 and 90 and has changed the rules about people's ability to transfer their tax, property tax basis, and also the ability to hand that down from parent to child. And so these are great opportunities for absentee owners, for homeowners that are potentially trapped in their homes. So, mom, dad, kids are gone, 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot house. All the bedrooms are upstairs. And they're like, well, it'd be nice to be in something different, but my taxes are $2,500.
Right.
Even if I sell my $1 million house and buy a $500,000 house, my taxes are going to at least double. That's a hindrance to my ability to move. So this new proposition answers a lot of these questions. Again, like we're talking, this is a contact sport. This is the opportunity to open conversations. Some people are going to be open to having this conversation and some aren't. But I guarantee you're going to find some people that go, what, really? Oh, I didn't know that. And boom, there's your opportunity. So getting out there and doing a mailing campaign, getting on the phone and calling people. You can do all of these to spread the word on what this proposition is about and how it might be of great benefit to them.
Yep. Oh, but wait a minute, Travis, my SOI or my center of influence is, I don't have a lot of people over 65 in my center of influence. Hey, Travis, just thought I'd pass on this information because it's really important. And I don't know if your parents know about it.
Nice transition.
So you don't have to call or you're even the opposite. You're calling 65 and hey, I don't know if you're aware of this as far as for the transfer to your kids. This could affect the transfer to your kids. And I don't, just wanted to share this information. So it works. And that goes right back to number one, just picking up the telephone and with valuable information that we can start a conversation around.
Telephone or just a mailing campaign, you go find that neighborhood that's at least 20 years old and you find people that have lived in there 20 plus years. Boom, there's your target audience. They're going to be generally in their mid 50s or older. There are going to be a lot of empty nesters in there and boom, hit them with that, with a good call to action, CTA. You're going to get some action.
So, and I want to talk about CTAs a little bit and why they're so important. I feel like in our industry, we spend so much time afraid to send things out because, we want everybody to respond and we want to make sure we're making something for the masses to respond. And that's really not what we're looking for. We are looking for engagement in those that want to engage with us. And I'll give you this example of a CTA. Agent in the office, January 4th, this Monday, came into the office and sat in front of me and said, what do I want or what can I do? And they have a BombBomb account. So I said, BombBomb videos. I want you to go to all of your center of influence or your past clients or whatever the case may be. And I want you to send a BombBomb video and I want you to talk about something that they need. So in this particular case, the agent started with their past clients from the last year and just said, hey, it's January 1st. I just wanted to check in, say hello, wish you a happy new year. And by the way, if you need your closing documents for your taxes coming up in April, just let me know. And I'm happy to send them over to you via mail, or I can send you a PDF. Most people actually most of the agents in the industry, and I say this in the CTA, is most of the people in the industry have the habit of, hey, Travis, here's your closing documents. I know it's a new year, happy new year. And by the way, you might need these for taxes. So I enclosed a copy for you. But just that part of, hey, get back to me and let me know if you would like these. You're actually making the person on the other side take action so that you can have a conversation with those that want to have conversations. So here's what happened. Sent out like 10 of those the first day, and 8 people got back. And it was everything from, oh, well, actually, I need a hard copy and an email copy. Would you mind sending me both? And by the way, how's everything going? And how's the market going? Those are the type of CTAs that you want to create. You want to create situations where people do want to have conversations with you. So I just wanted to make that point when we talk about CTAs that, our goal is to get somebody to have a conversation with us, but we want the right people to have conversations with us. Does that make sense?
I love it. So I don't want to confuse people or give too many directions, because yours was great. But as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about it. And I know some agents who, and every agent should, you're right, at the end of the year, for everybody they did business with that year, right at January 1st, you should have a closing statement from that property. And you should have, if they purchased, you can have a copy of the, sorry about that. You can have a photocopy of the grant deed and just say, hey, just wanted you to have this information for your taxes and just for record. And there are even agents that go, no, every year I take my whole SOI and I go through and this takes some time, but there's a lot of value in it. And they do a quick CMA and send it out. Hey, how you doing? Just want to check in as I do every year, let you know what's going on in the neighborhood with your property in case this information is important to you. Okay, here's the key. You ready? Then you pick up the phone.
Got to follow up.
Hey, Nestor, it's Travis. How have you been? I'm just following up. I sent out my annual report to you. Wanted to see if you got it in the mail, or wanted to see if you got it in your email. Fantastic. Do you have any questions about that? Or is there anything additionally I can provide in regards to your property that might be helpful with your taxes or otherwise? No? Great. Fantastic. You know what? There's just one other thing. This year, there was a change in the propositions, whatever, how you want to approach it. And just wanted to see, I don't know if your parents have ever talked about being in too big a house, but being trapped, or anyone else, there's great opportunity now for people to get out of that situation. And so I'm just looking to spread the word. If your parents, if you're ever chatting with them and you hear this, let me know. Let me know if I can reach out to them and share with them some of this information, because I think it's going to be of great value to them. By the way, how's Rosie doing? That dog, she's so damn cute. Okay. All right. Have a great day. Right? It's just money.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, so one of the things that we talked about, or that we have as a strategy, is emailing your database. Yep. And so we're on that subject. So let's talk about some emails that we can send out. And I've actually put together a few samples of emails, and I'll go through them with you, Travis, and let's talk about these and see if
what number are we on here, Nestor?
Number 5. I'm looking at number 5.
I'm going to say, I don't know where you got these people watching this broadcast. These are not mine. These are Nestor's, but man, when I read these, I was like, this is good.
Thank you. it was a little work, and
so pay attention, people.
We read a lot of different books and a lot of different sources to try to come up with content and see what works and what doesn't. But so first email, hey Travis, it's that time of year where a lot of our clients start planning out their real estate goals for 2021. Which one of these situations best describes you? Number 1, I have no plans. Number 2, I'm curious to know how much my home is worth now. Number 3, I'm thinking about making home improvements. Number 4, I'm considering buying an investment property. Number 5, I'm thinking about refinancing. So Travis, in this particular case, would be could be a past client, could be just somebody that's in my database. But the opener of the email is really just saying, hey, it's 2021, and a lot of people usually start thinking about their real estate goals. And so I'm checking in with Travis, and I'm giving him 5 choices. And so Travis, the real question is do you have any plans? Are you just curious what your house is worth? Are you thinking of making any home improvements? Are you considering an investment property? Are you thinking about refinancing? And if I get an answer to any one of those, I'm golden.
Yeah. And you know what I love is you disarm them immediately. Like, oh, what's this about? Number one, have no plans. Oh, okay, that's me. I don't want to have to do this, which is great. And then they'll read on. And then also what's great about this is it's not like, are you ready to sell? Are you going to sell? And it's not specifically about real estate sales. You have home improvement in here. You have financing. So you're really showing some value here and saying, hey, look, I'm here to help you. I'm not here just as a vulture jumping in when the moment's right and trying to do what's best for me. I want to help you and bring some value to what you're doing. Love the piece, Nestor. Great.
Absolutely. So, and you're right. They say home improvements. Okay. Are you refining to do home improvements? But, and from a real estate standpoint, we have to recognize that the majority of the people that are, well, not the majority, but there's a percentage of people that are doing home improvements because they're thinking of selling within the next 12 to 18 months. So there's two categories. I'm doing a home improvement because I just want to change the house and enjoy where I'm living, or we're thinking of selling.
Yeah.
Those are really the only two reasons.
Great conversations to have.
Okay. So the other email, it's that time of year where clients are asking me, how's the market? I can summarize it in one word. It's been terrific. Well, I wrote terrific. So that was when I say it's been terrific is more than one word. So forgive me for that. It's essential. It's essential that you review your home value and get a report every 6 to 12 months. This will give you a clear insight of how much equity you've gained and a true idea of where the market is going. Okay. So that was another email, which if you wanted to attach a market update to that, but you could simply add on that. Would you like me to, send that to you? Whatever the case may be. But I'll jump in. The third email that I wrote was similar to the second one, but I took a play off of Zillow. So, and my email is titled in the title, my email is titled Zillow is way off. Did you know that the CEO of Zillow sold his home for 40% less than the Zestimate ? They actually have a disclaimer on their website where you can see exactly how inaccurate they are. It's just hard to find. With that in mind, please let me know if you would like me to send you a Xactimate. It's essential that you know your home value and check it every 3 to 6 months. And with the current values, and such an amazing rise. I'm sorry, I'm not reading my own writing very well. Rise. It's fun to see your growth. And then I add a little thing, add emojis there. My point to that one is have fun with your emails. And I'm not reading this as clear as they sound better when you're just reading them, but Daniel is popping these into the notes on the side so that you guys will be you can copy paste this. I don't care. You can change it up, put your flavor on it. But I just really wanted to give you guys ideas of what you can send out to try to get some, will people respond? Yeah, there will be some people that respond back and say, yeah, I do want.
What's a Xactimate?
Xactimate is my Zestimate. It's Zact.
I was going to say, maybe you should call it a Nestimate.
It could be an estimate. Yes.
Well, with this one, and you guys don't know this, and I'm going to tell you what I saw when I saw this morning to help encourage you to go pull this out of the notes, is there's some interactive aspects to this email. So when it says Zillow's way off, did you know the CEO of Zillow sold his home for 40% less than this estimate? Well, you can say that, or you can show it. And Nestor had put a hyperlink in here where you click on it, it goes directly to the article about how Spencer Rascoff sold his house literally for 40% below. So you can either tell them and they might or might not believe it, or you can show them.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, I can trust Nestor now because, wow, look at this. And then he says they actually have a disclaimer on their website. It's just kind of hard to find. Again, he has a hyperlink that goes right to that disclaimer. Great piece. Thank you.
So again, Daniel has copied all of these and he's put them in this Zoom meeting, actually in the Facebook Live, and he's going to pin it to the top so that you guys will have access to this. You can also have access to all of the text message ideas that we came up with and things like that. So fourth one that I wrote, I'm not sure if you know, but I have a listing coming on the market soon, or that just hit the market, and I'm not sure if it's for you, but maybe someone you know is looking for a home. And then after that, you put a short list of amenities about that particular home. If so, let me know and I'll reply with pictures, price, and exact location. If not, hope all is well and hope to catch up soon. Again, my CTA in that is I am looking for somebody to say, yeah, I do know somebody, because those are the people that we want to have a continuous conversation with. We don't want to just necessarily send out. We could have very easily attached all the photos and all the other information to this, but then you never know if they actually forwarded that, and if there was some interest, and we lose the opportunity to have that conversation with somebody who is actually looking in the market.
All right, I already hear a few objections, so let me overcome an objection for you.
Sure.
I don't have a listing. There's so few listings in this market. I don't have this opportunity. Boom. Just grab one from the office, call the agent, say, hey, do you mind if I use this to send out to some clients? Because you're not looking for that listing. You're just looking for contact. So to be able to send this out, boy, if you help them sell their listing, great. If it gets you 20 conversations you otherwise wouldn't have had, and it doesn't lead to anything, but gets you that much closer, next level to having a deal, I mean, that's where it's at. So, find a good, that way you can pick your listing. Hey, I like this one because of the price point or the location or whatever it might be.
Exactly. And I think, Travis, you hit on a very, very good point, and I want to make sure nobody missed this. It doesn't really matter if it actually leads to a transaction or not. At the end of the day, this still and always has been a numbers game. The more conversations we have, the more opportunities we have, the more sales it will eventually lead to. So you increase the number of contacts, the number of communications and conversations that you have, it will ultimately end in more sales. So don't be afraid of everybody that's not ready to do something right now. The goal is to just continue to have conversations.
Yeah. So when we do accountability, which, by the way, you'll be getting an email shortly. We're going to start up the next session here next week. One of the things I talk about is, we all want that sale. We all want that buyer to be happy in their new home. We all want that seller to be on their way to their next objective. And that's how we get paid. And that's how we do well in this business. So of course, we're going to celebrate those opportunities. That's the pinnacle of what we're attempting to do. But what's more important is that you celebrate doing what you know is going to eventually lead to getting to those sales. So when you say, hey, I love what Travis and Nestor said today, I'm going to send out that email. I'm going to go get that. I saw that listing. Gosh, John over here had that great listing that I saw. I'm going to ask him. He'll let you do it. And I'm going to put out that email. And boy, when you hit send and that goes out to 100 people of your SOI, celebrate. Say, right. I did it. That's fantastic. I took action. And when I do this repeatedly, it's going to turn into business. That's where the celebration needs to be, because that's the money. It's if you don't get to that, a blind squirrel finds a squirrel, a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Exactly.
And that's what you're going to do if you're not taking consistent action, because I never get any response from that. Well, it's because you do it once or twice a year and think that people are going to respond immediately. It's not the way it works. It's got to be consistent over time.
Exactly. Want to talk about text messages?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I like text messages.
Hey, Travis, it's been a long time. I'd love to catch up. Coffee?
And these obviously, you're going to have multiple messages, because there are going to be people that you're going to be like, oh yeah, hey, Nestor, been a long time, coffee. And you're going to feel totally comfortable sending that to. But there'll be other people, you met in a circumstance that you want to communicate with, but you're not at that level of relationship to be able to send that text. So you'll find something different.
Absolutely.
that has to do with home value or whatever else.
Hey, Travis, it's Nestor with Remax Premier Realty. We're anticipating a few more homes hitting the market in the next few weeks. If I see a special buy, should I send it your way?
No.
Okay. So if I get a no, I know where I stand, right? But if I get a yes, and a follow-up with that, if I get a yes on that one, then my next one to you is, sorry, I forgot to ask. You need to sell a home before you buy.
Yep. And then also with the no's, right? So you should send out these text messages and we're usually like, oh, don't say no. Don't say no. I've wasted my time. Again, no, you didn't waste your time.
Didn't waste your time.
In fact, you should have your response ready to go. When they say no, say, fantastic. Hey, it was great hearing from you. And whatever, I'll look forward to touching base with you in the past. If I have another great opportunity, I'll be bringing it to your attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you know what that is? That's like when, we've been in the business so long. For those who've been in the business a long time, that's the mailer that you send and you put all this time into it. You want it to be perfect. And you know what we're trying to do. There's only one goal when we send out that mailer. Oh, there's that Travis mailing things out again. Boom, right in the trash. But that's what we wanted. We wanted them to say our name or see us. Exactly.
So, so you mentioned there are people that we're comfortable with and the other one that I wrote for those that we're comfortable with, hey, Travis, in these crazy times, it's been hard to take a break. If you're up for it, I'd love to catch up over a virtual cup of coffee. These are, and I bring up the cup of coffee because this is one that I always bring up every year. It is so easy to just call somebody up and say, hey, let's catch up and let's have a cup of coffee. And you would be amazed. I would be very surprised if you actually got together with somebody over a cup of coffee and they did not ask you, how's real estate? I would be extremely surprised if they didn't ask you how business was or how real estate's doing. So remember, it's all about having those conversations. All right. What else have we got? I think that's about covered it.
Well, let's hit one last one. We got a few minutes before we're at an hour and we don't like to go much over an hour, but I think this one is worth it. Refresh your listing presentation.
Amen.
Be ready for the opportunity. Don't scramble when it comes here. And what do you have? Is it updated? Like you make a note here. We're in COVID times. If you haven't updated your listing presentation to deal with the current situation, you're way behind the times.
Absolutely. So I'll ask you this question, Travis. What should my listing presentation have in it now that it didn't have in it 12 months ago because of our new current circumstances?
People are fearful. You need to make them comfortable. You need to lay out procedures right there in your pamphlet. Hey, I know we're with COVID. You probably have a lot of questions about how we're going to do, how people sell homes in these times. How are you guys doing? Have you had much experience with COVID? Is your family or anyone close to you, been affected by it? And listen to what they say. Oh yeah. Oh, you don't have much concern. No, you don't really know anyone. You're going to have those cowboys, right? We don't care. Ha ha. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, we want to protect you regardless because you're going to be having people come in your house. So here's what our procedures are going to be. Or you're going to have those that are like, oh my God, yeah, I know people that had it and I haven't left my house in 4 months. And so you just need that information in there. Hey, you know what? I totally get it. No matter what they say, that's it, right? Right. I agree with you. And here's what I'm done. And so, yeah, you've got to have your procedures. You got to talk about how things are going to be done, how you're going to control it, what tools you're going to use to market so that they can have as few people in the house as possible and only serious people. Is that the answer you were looking for, Nestor?
Yes, that's one of them. And I'll ask this question. And Daniel, while we're wrapping things up, if you could do me a favor and pick a winner for us for our mask for this week. So what things do we have in our listing presentation that didn't used to be in there that we should have that obviously address COVID? But there's two parts to that. what other adjustments have you made to your listing presentation to accommodate?
Oh, yes.
So, because,
Like how you present, you mean?
yeah, hey, we're good face to face. Come to the house. I don't want to come to the house. Do you have your Zoom presentation in place, and have you practiced it, and are you ready, and are you able to present via Zoom, or does it happen via just a phone call? Do you have a solution for that if that client calls you up and says you can't come over?
Yep.
So,
super important.
Yeah, so I think that it's making sure your presentation is in tune, right? And here's where it won't matter. It won't matter if they just call you up and they say, "Hey, come list my property." But if we are competing, you're going to lose some traction if the other person you're competing with actually has written out documents or is presenting specifically for COVID. Look, this is how we are addressing COVID with the PEDS and the virtual open houses and the marketing and this and that in order to make sure that you stay safe. If one person presents that and your competitor doesn't present that, that will be noticed. That's like saying, hey, no, we don't market. So
yeah, we got that. Don't worry, you'll be safe. Anything else?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So we want to make sure that our plan is put together completely. So Mr. Daniel, who is my winner? Kenny. Congratulations, Mr. Kenny Young. So please, actually, after Fran finds me, because Fran gets first pick, then find me and we'll get that over to you. But anyway, in closing statements.
It's going to be a great year, guys. There's a lot of positive things going on out there. I know at the same time, there's turmoil going on, but if we keep our noses to the grindstone, we put the blinders on, don't let things distract us, and have that plan. Again, we don't just market when we can or we want to. It needs to be a consistent path. And if we get those out there and we celebrate every time we're putting something out that is eliciting some response, you're going to have a great year.
My closing: work within yourself and work how you work. So we gave you a lot of different things today. The goal is not to go and implement all 8 or all 9 things that we put together. Pick one, pick 2, or have the systems in place and make the commitment to, okay, I'm going to do this for an hour a day. And today I pick Facebook DMs today, and I'm going to do that for an hour today and see what the results are. And tomorrow, I'll do emails for an hour and I'll just copy and paste and send these emails out. Whatever works for you. Do not feel like you need to be overwhelmed with, well, I can't put all of these things in place right now, so none of it's going to happen. You've got to take action. And remember, it's all about just creating more communications with somebody. And if you have enough meetings and enough appointments, they will lead to more business.
That's the answer.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys being out here today. And we'll be here again next Friday. I was trying to get our topic prepared, so I was able to announce it, but it wasn't. I'm not ready, so we will announce it shortly. But please come back and visit us. And if there is something that you guys want us to talk about, don't be afraid to. We do go back and check this chat afterwards, and we'll answer any questions. So if you have questions, you're welcome to drop them in the chat. As well, if there is something that you would like us to address, or say, hey, talk about this, let us know.
Yeah, we love topics.
Absolutely. All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Have a great week.
Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.